Welcome back. Looking forward today to showing some moments where FSD really surprised me and had me questioning whether it made a better decision than I would have. Right away, look at the FSD visualization, specifically where there appears to be a biker sandwiched between us and the shuttle. I'm thinking the whole time FSD is just being nice, letting the black SUV come out of the parking garage. But then I finally realize something is off.
Why is it not going? It thinks there's a bike here, but there isn't. What a strange visualization.
So I did push the accelerator to get the Tesla going. Can't have phantom bicycles stopping traffic. Now that was the first time I've ever seen FSD stop for a phantom bicycle. Pause the video now if you want to read issue definitions. Otherwise, I'm forwarding to a moment that makes me truly grateful for FSD. Look to your left.
Jumped on the brakes there, someone.
I never saw her because she was lined up perfectly in my A-pillar. I probably would have kept going. I'm sure she would have stopped, but FSD really did the right thing there.
Many times that happened to me, and I would nearly run over a pedestrian.
And I think the reason why it happens so much is because walking speed often happens to match the speed at which the car is creeping forward, so the pedestrian stays obscured as I move. I hit the avenue in gridlock, and FSD has to make a choice whether to enter the intersection. It does. This is really a gamble. We do have a lot of green left, but I doubt FSD knows that, and we're backed way up into the intersection. Now at the very least, it needs to follow the taxi closely because every inch counts, but it doesn't. As it falls behind, drivers behind get more impatient. Luckily for us, traffic moves forward enough that I no longer feel the need to intervene. Moving forward to another instance where FSD beats my own judgment. The taxi in front drives around some people in a walker, and I would have followed them if I were driving. But the Tesla chooses to stop, just as another person in black jumps out. It dawns on me at this point that FSD just made a better decision than me, and the moment the path clears, FSD drives forward assertively. Perfect execution. Coming up to Park Avenue, FSD does something that really impresses me. The GPS in the top right of the screen wants to go straight, but FSD sees a bunch of cars ahead blocking its path. It signals right. What is FSD thinking? Watch the blue and rainbow path planner as FSD decides to turn right, disobeying the GPS. I am completely stunned. This is human taxi driver level behavior that I had never before seen FSD do. I'm staring at the screen in disbelief so long that it thinks I'm no longer paying attention to the road.
My eyes just saw what I saw, okay?
FSD just decided to make a detour against the GPS, which is uncannily human-like behavior. I have so many questions. Why didn't FSD just decide to wait to go straight? It certainly made that decision before. Was it actively working out an alternative route with the GPS? Like in some weird way, FSD and GPS were having a conversation? That's simultaneously impressive, creepy, and actually exactly what FSD needs to get to the next level. FSD just needs to do this consistently to match the skill of a human driver. Given this example, I'm optimistic Tesla can get there very soon. Up ahead is a double two-way intersection, which is rare in Manhattan. FSD also needs to turn left in heavy traffic, so precise positioning is needed. It makes a great decision not to enter the intersection. We don't want to block the oncoming taxi's lane should it suddenly have an opportunity to turn left. As the light turns red, FSD has to wait another cycle for its turn. As the left turners from the last cycle clear out, cross traffic have already occupied all the best waiting spots in the median. FSD decides to enter the intersection. I think this is the right call, despite it blocking the oncoming left turners. But FSD still isn't very good with its micro-positioning. I pushed the accelerator pedal to improve its position. FSD still hasn't figured out how to micro-position in dense, low-speed urban scenarios where leaving more than 3 feet of space between it and the next car is just bad practice. I wonder if Tesla can specially train FSD to behave differently in urban areas. These bumper car-like scenarios don't really happen outside of cities, except, in my experience, leaving a parking lot after a sporting event or a concert. Not even Costco parking lots are this bad. Our light turns red, and we're still stuck. In a moment, the cross traffic light will turn green and the cars in front of me will go. As soon as there is space, FSD needs to aggressively complete the turn closely behind the car in front. But I know and expect this version of FSD to be too chill, even in aggressive setting, so I disengage to catch up. I really feel there needs to be an aggressive plus setting, or perhaps a city setting. Up ahead, FSD seems to follow the taxi's lead to move around the freight truck. This human-like behavior is awesome to see. Watch the pedestrian on the right in the black and blue. He appears to be walking straight, then suddenly makes a cross while looking away, causing FSD to slam on the brakes. For the third time this drive, I'm grateful FSD was driving instead of me. That would have freaked me out. Pedestrians do some crazy things, but rarely do they jaywalk in front of an oncoming car while looking away. Dwelling on that moment a bit longer, I'm really impressed that FSD didn't stop altogether before he jumped out. There was no buffer room between the Tesla and the pedestrian. If he took one step to his right or just stuck his arm out, there would have been a collision. FSD really impresses with this interpretation of human body language. So much of city driving is a low-speed battle of wills between a bunch of cars, pedestrians, and cyclists, all at the same time. It's pretty stressful as a human driver. FSD removes nearly all of that stress. This next one is another example of FSD exhibiting uncannily human judgment. I'm watching the couple on the right side unloading from the Uber. At first they seem to want to go right, but then they change their minds. FSD cautiously creeps forward but then stops. I'm just about to push the accelerator at this point as traffic is starting to move forward, but I'm not really sure how FSD figured out that the couple was about to jaywalk. The moment the couple pass, FSD confidently goes forward, passing within inches of the driver on my right. Once again, I'm thankful FSD was on, and I'm questioning my own judgment. I'm left wondering if FSD has already exceeded my abilities as a driver, at least in some instances. But in others, like this one where a white van is stopped and I have to move around it in bumper-to-bumper traffic, FSD is really in need of a city aggressive plus mode. Every car stuck behind me knows to stick its nose into the left lane, but FSD does not. They're able to merge in, but we're still stuck. FSD has had its left blinker on for almost a minute at this point, and nobody is letting it in. Until finally, a semi-driver nicely gives us a ton of room and allows us to merge. I speed forward at 32x as FSD works its way through bumper-to-bumper traffic with no issues. I also run out of battery on my secondary camera, so please bear with me as I switch over. FSD now needs to make a left onto 11th Avenue, but decides to change into the right lane. I'm guessing because it thinks the left lane is blocked. But the left lane is obviously the queue of cars waiting to turn left, so now FSD needs to cut back in, which is bad practice in my opinion. But to be completely fair, I've seen taxi drivers do this intentionally just to save some time, accepting the risk that they may have to detour.
All this traffic in the left turn lane. It's a mess. They have the left turn green right now. Probably no longer.
Indeed, as the light turns green, FSD is still in the straight lane. It could stack up to the right behind the bus, but that's a very risky move, especially with an oncoming left turn. Indeed, FSD is forced to go straight, once again against the GPS as it did back on Park Avenue. So now the question is whether this detour around the block is a better decision than waiting back in that long line to turn left. I actually don't know, and given FSD's performance in this drive, I'm willing to give FSD the benefit of the doubt. The detour requires 2 successive right turns, and FSD is already not in the right lane according to the sign above. In its current lane of travel, FSD would be turning onto the highway, which would have been a very long detour. I have to disengage to get the car into the rightmost lane. The only reason I am able to take over so quickly is because I made this mistake myself several times, as the side street is so easy to miss. I don't know how FSD is supposed to fix this issue. I had to remember specifically how to handle this intersection, but I doubt it's possible for FSD to remember specific intersections. We're approaching the end of the drive. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more content. And what do you think? Was FSD uncannily human? Let me know what you think in the comments, and see you next time.